So, I want to speak a little bit about the history of the blackmail operation and how it ties into some of the current events that we're talking about. And I'm not giving you, I'm kind of giving you a philosophical background more so than a factual background, but I'm going to talk about some of the stories. Who you see on the screen, this is Gary Hart, and I forget the name of the woman. I think it might have been some Flavin, or I'm not exactly sure what her name was, but he basically had his political career completely ruined by allegations of an affair. Now, what's interesting about this is that it's not as if he would have been the first politician to have an affair. There's many, many rumors of Kennedy having affairs. Now, we don't know if it's true or not, but certainly the whole idea of politicians having affairs, powerful men having affairs, wasn't new. And so this whole idea that leaking information about an affair, it was a smear job. It was intended to humiliate and embarrass people. And I think it was probably, even if it wasn't the intent, eventually it became a deterrent for people to run for office, because over years you saw situations like with Clarence Thomas. Now, with Anita Hill, I remember watching those hearings and thinking to myself, with a little bit of exception, that some of the stuff was probably true, but that it was workplace flirtation. And I don't recall that he was married at the time or not. I just don't remember that. And that I would make that a cautionary tale for men. If you're interested in getting into a position of authority and being able to make a difference, be very careful how you live your life. In certain areas, in certain places, there are entire teams of people to make sure that you don't get any sort of dirt on you. And, handlers and managers to make sure that you stay out of all types of trouble, just so that you will be prepared for that day. And so I think we had a similar situation with Herman Cain. It never stuck. Something about sexual harassment when he was running for office. I think it was when George W. Bush was running that he was in the primaries, but he dropped out very early as he started to surge. Out come these accusations that he had sexually harassed someone. Now, he always denied it. And as soon as he dropped out of the race, the accusations disappeared. So I'm not sure when I realized the pattern. I didn't realize it at the time of Clarence Thomas, but by the time Herman Cain came along, I actually kind of did realize it, especially when it completely disappeared from the headlines as soon as he dropped out of the race. So I think that possibly at a certain point, people realized that you were going to be able to continue on. I'm going to go out on a limb and say possibly, even though there's a long history of Bill Clinton being a part of the insider sort of elite clubs, that Bill Clinton was not a first choice. Hillary might have been a first choice. I don't think that Bill Clinton was a first choice. And I'm going to explain why.